How's it going, guys? My name is JP, and in today's video I'll be covering a zero recoil build for the XMG light machine gun. So let's jump right into the attachments. So starting with the sights, I went with the Jason's Armory 2x. I feel like ultimately though, sights are pretty much personal preference. Use any sight that you're comfortable with. I feel like that's very important, because if you don't, you're going to end up missing shots, or it's just not going to feel right. So honestly, just use what you're comfortable with. It really doesn't affect recoil all that much. Depending on what sight you use, I just chose this one because it does have the recoil gun kick. You could try this sight out, but ultimately use whatever you feel comfortable with. The second attachment is going to be the muzzle. I went with the compensator, which gives you a 19% increase in recoil gun kick and vertical recoil control. The only con, I think, to this muzzle is you do receive a 43% increase in first shot recoil scale, but when I was testing this weapon out, you really can't notice it. And to be honest, I'd prefer having as much recoil control as I possibly can. So for the barrel attachment, I went with the reinforced barrel. This is going to give you 20% increase in bullet velocity and an increase for max damage at 76 meters at range. From the base 61 meters. This is probably the best barrel out of all of them, only because you basically get the same benefits from the gain twist barrel and the long barrel just combined into this attachment. So I feel like this barrel out of all of them is the one to go with, and that's including pretty much any weapon to use. For the underbarrel attachment, I went with the vertical foregrip, which gives you a 40% boost to horizontal recoil control. If you're running a 4x or higher sight, you could opt for the precision foregrip, which will give you a 20% boost to horizontal recoil control, but with the added benefit of having a 30% reduction to aiming idle sway, which is important when you're using scopes, because that sway, to be completely honest with you, will mess you up. So if you're going to go with anything higher, like a 4x or higher, I suggest going with that grip. But ultimately, I chose the vertical foregrip because of the recoil control and because of the boost that it gives you. For the magazine attachment, I went with the extended mags 1. You are going to get 50 more rounds from the base 100 rounds, which I feel like is a good middle ground between the extended mags 1 and 2. I chose this one just because there's not as many cons as extended mag 2. I feel like extended mag 2 really hurts the mobility. I mean, LMGs are already not so mobile. So if you add on to that, it's just going to make it really hard to win gunfights, and you're just going to feel really sluggish and slow. So I suggest going with the extended mags 1 just to have that extra 50 rounds in case you do have to get into multiple gunfights at one time. So for the rear grip, I went with the ergonomic grip. In my opinion, this is probably the best grip to use for light machine guns, mainly because it helps with the mobility. You're already not going to be mobile with the light machine gun, and I knew this going in. So having that little bit extra mobility is going to help you move around the map a little bit quicker and maybe aim down sights a little faster. You're still going to have trouble winning gunfights against, submachine guns and stuff like that, but this class is really geared towards accuracy at medium to long range. You could win a couple of close range gunfights, but ultimately you want to stick to the medium to long range fights. So for the stock attachment, I went with the buffer weight stock, which is going to give you a 40% boost in horizontal recoil control and 25% boost in vertical recoil control. You do take a hit to mobility, which it is kind of canceled out by the grip, so it's not really that big of an issue. And I, again, prefer to have more accuracy over anything. And for the final attachment, I am going to choose a fire mod over the laser, just because the lasers are good on some weapons, but it does show up to other enemies, so they're going to know your position, which I kind of don't like. So for the fire mod, I went again with the recoil springs just to add that little bit of extra recoil control. And it does help out a bit, even though it's just 8% for both horizontal and vertical, but still having that little extra 8% is going to help you stay on target. So that's it for all the attachments for the XMG. This is going to give you close to or near 0 recoil. I hope you guys like this class. Here's the full breakdown of the pros and cons, just so you can take a look to see what you're gaining from this. Let me know down in the comments below how you like this class or what attachments you used on the XMG. And as always, I hope you guys like this video. If you don't want to miss out on any future loadouts, be sure to subscribe down below. Catch you guys on the next video.